This lesson is going to look at a groove that you guys actually voted on. I put a video up and just asked you, hey, out of these grooves, which one do you want a lesson on? And this was the one that by far you guys voted to kind of have broken apart. Now, it's not surprising to me because I found over the years that some of the more popular grooves sound more complicated than they actually are. And I'm going to kind of give you a couple tips for whenever you're playing in a live venue or whatnot. If you want to add energy to a song, or if you want a song to have a driving feel, put 4 on the floor. That means put quarter notes on your kick drum. All right? And if you want to give it even more energy, put upbeats on the hi-hat. I've always loved that groove because it's got a great bounce to it, it's got a great feel, it's got great energy to it. So I want to, at times, change it up a little bit. And when I want to change it up, what I do is I begin moving my right hand around the kit just to see what different options I have. It's a great warm-up thing to do whenever you're practicing, and it really kind of breaks you out of your box. Too often we get just like cinched up and locked up in this box right here, and if we just take and we begin moving a hand around the drum kit with a pattern that we're used to doing or we do often, and a lot of times that'll begin to break us out of our box, and that's exactly what this groove does. So the groove sounds a little bit harder than it actually is. And the basis of the groove is 4 on the floor and the kick drum. So just quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the kind of the skeleton of the groove in the right hand is you're going to be playing upbeats. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and put 2 and 4 on the snare drum. All right, so you have a basic disco 70s era Steve Gadd in the studio, Casey and the Sunshine Band type of groove, right? Now, if I take and I begin moving my hand around, the skeleton of this groove is simply going to be the and of 1 here on the hi-hat, the and of 2 on the high tom, the and of 3 on the floor tom, and then back to the hi-hat for the and of 4. We add a backbeat to that. And you have a beat that has a little drive to it, and it's just a little bit more off-center, okay? Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is, after I get that basic rhythm down, I'm going to add a downbeat. And the downbeat that I'm going to add is actually the downbeat of 3. And I'm going to open my hi-hat real quick to get kind of that open and closed hi-hat sound. But first, before I do that, I just want to get the sticking down. So it's going to be the and of 1 here, the and of 2, the downbeat of 3, the and of 4, or excuse me, the and of 3, and then the and of 4 back there. By adding that downbeat of 3, you can begin to hear the groove coming together. Now, the other thing I want to do, of course, is open the hi-hat on 3. We have one more thing to add on the high tom, but that'll come in just a second. So let's open the hi-hat on 3. All right, we've got that. The last thing we want to add is on the and of 2, I'm going to put 2 16th notes. So instead of just 1 note going on the and of 2, we're now going to have 2 notes. That'll sound like this without the downbeat of 3. I'll just play the skeleton first. All right, now let's add that downbeat of 3. Now, the other thing you can do for some fill options while keeping the backbeat, which is going to keep the drive of the song, is to move that right hand around to some different voices, some different toms, the hi-hat on different parts of the beat. You can keep it on the upbeat, but that'll allow you to add a little variation and variety, as well as have somewhat of a fill within the groove while you keep the 2 and 4 backbeat. If you like this groove and the lesson helped you break it apart, hit that thumbs up button or just share it with another drummer that you think it might help out. As well, if you want to see your drumming grow on a daily basis, then YouTube is great for learning licks and for learning one-off patterns like this. But if all of your drum education exists on YouTube, you're missing out on the depth and wealth of knowledge that's out there. And I want to help you out with that. So there's a 7-day, $1 trial of a Drum Better daily membership. Just follow the link below. It's a comprehensive, complete program that's going to help you see daily progress in your drumming. You can follow all the links, hang out with me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or here on YouTube, and we can just talk drums. You can sign up for the email list as well. The link's below. I send out some free goodies there, as well as just all the updates and things that's going on the site. But regardless of what you do, I'll see you here in the next video.